Hello fam, happy new month and welcome to my best month. Yeah, those of you screaming, oh, my vote did not count after shouting LUP 74, it did not count. I'm here to tell you emphatically and unapologetically that your vote did count. We saw in court today the admissibility of documentary evidence which was presented by Labour Party. So follow me guys, let me break it down for you. Let's go. Yes. So, first of all, if you are just joining me for the first time, I say thank you so much for joining me. Love ya. If you have been here, gosh, I don't even know what to say to you. Thank you so much. I love you too. So now to the crux of the matter. We saw in court the admissibility of documentary evidence. This was evidence provided from the local government in some states. 18 states, that was what the Labour Party said they had, and that's what they were going to be bringing to court. But we saw the play out of events, which was really funny. First of all, the team was led by Opoko. Opoko led the team today, even though our Kalu had to step in at some point, just to say, okay, we're not going to be asking for adjournment. Tomorrow, the case continues. So for the other party, the first respondent, we see Dr. Pinhero. For the second respondent, we have Olanipekan, and which is for the second and the third one. Yeah, Olanipekan. And then for the fourth respondent, we had Fagbemi there as well. So it was really a very wonderful meeting. So the first thing that came as a surprise was the whole, the documentary evidence that was coming in like big bowls with covers. I was like, oh, what's happening here? We must fight for our mandate by fire by force, because what was going on here? Like, could that be the reason why they, sought for that adjournment yesterday? Maybe they were not so ready. Maybe nobody was really. I'm alleging, I'm not saying that's what happened, but please don't carry me. But I'm just saying, because these are some of the tactics just to make sure that you're ready. And like I said earlier, see, LP, they are walking on eggshells. They need to ensure, and guys, they need to ensure that there are no issues, because these people will, they would look at as in nothing. They would stop at nothing to ensure that this case is punctured as much as possible. You understand? They will stop at nothing. So we need to ensure that, whatever you're bringing forward is the truth. And I'm sure so far so good. All eyes are on the judiciary, number one, and they are looking at the law. Like even the Peter Obi's legal team, they are looking at the law, with everything. First of all, kudos to you, sir, Peter Obi and Dati. Because they're always in court. Like, I must follow this thing to the end. I'm not a lawyer, but you see this matter, I must follow it to the end. And that kind of reminded me of scriptures. Remember that, what Solomon did when those two women came, and, one of them was like, oh, it's my baby. The other was like, who will know? So it was like, okay, let's kill this other child. And then they were like, yes, let's kill this other child. But the owner was like, in fact, instead of it to kill this child, just give it to this person. You understand? Because the mother was there to watch over the child, to ensure that nothing, happens to the child. You understand? This may not necessarily fit in, but I'm just saying, if something is your own, you will not watch it die. You will follow it bumper to bumper. Even a very clearer example is the case of Moses when he was born. Even though the mother had left him, in the water because of the instructions or the rule from Pharaoh and all of that, it still did not deter her from watching out. Even the Moses' elder sister Miriam, it did not stop her from watching over the child to ensure that nothing happened. So immediately the princess saw the baby, she ran and said, I have somebody that can take care of this child. Because when it be your own, you protect it with everything you've got. Do you understand where I'm driving at? You understand? Even though it means you making some sacrifices, because I'm sure Obi would have left his businesses and everything else just to fight for his mandate. So salute to you, Obi Dati, for being in court all the time. The rest of them will not get time. You don't really see article in court. Do you even see Tinubu in court? You see consign Jagaban, consign court. But then again, let's see, because all eyes are indeed on the judiciary. So now for today's matter, first of all, the petitioner was saying, okay, we're going to call them, by states, and the court was worried, like, we don't have all the time in the world, and we need to be specific with these documents that you are presenting before we mark them as exhibits, so that we don't spend time. They are very voluminous, so they gave time for them to go and arrange their schedule. But before that time, because of the voluminous documents that they had, that's a LP, because of the plenty documents that they had, they now pleaded with the court. They're like, okay, I think they sent a better, like a guide, even though they have already filed the schedule. See, before you come to court, you must have filed everything. You cannot come and spring up surprise in court like that. Do you understand? So it was not even different. It was to help them with the schedule. That's the respondents, to help the respondents. They now passed on a guide to them immediately. They just raised consent. Sorry, they just passed another schedule to me. I don't know if the court is aware of this. So the court said, do you have the schedule with you? That's the document, which is the schedule to how this evidence will be presented. He said yes. So the court was like, this one is just a guide, just to help you so that you can follow properly. We don't want issues. So they said, okay, no problem. So the court now gave 10 minutes for them to go and, amend the schedule so that it is pleaded, like it is written with specifics to the evidence as they present them before the court. So the court was like, doing it state, we will sleep here. So, why don't you present it, in a more centralized format, so that, and again, be specific, list out the local government per state, instead of presenting them one by one, like local government by local government. We'll sleep here. Even 3 weeks will not be enough. Tell us the states, then list out the local government, and then present them holistically. Say, okay, for for maybe for Rivers State, these are the local governments that we have. Obiakpo, this one, that one, and then they will now mark them as exhibits one after the other, so that the court will not sleep here. You understand? So when they came back, they started, but there was a little bit of a drama, because there was a local government was Opobo Nkor. But in the record, that's the petitioner's record, it had Opobo only, and the court did not allow them to admit that evidence because, of course, it's not the same thing. So that was why they had to move that aside. Now, going forward, like, they looked at other states and admitted evidence for, I think, about 6 states today. They tendered evidence for each of the local governments, and then the ones that they did not have. And my pain about the Port Harcourt or the River State matter is the fact that these particular places, especially the areas where they did not have, or the local government which was not in the possession, that's the documents, which was not in the possession of Peter Obi's lawyers, are those key areas which Peter Obi is allegedly stated to have won with landslide victory, like correct victory, So it's worrisome. Someone was saying something like, so what's going to happen? Because if they keep doing this, where INEC, they are refusing to release these documents, does it make sense? And I think subsequently the court may have to issue a subpoena, ordering them to bring these documents, because the documents is not just for INEC. These are the results of what you claim people have voted. So I think it is key for people to have access to these documents. You understand? So going forward, it was 1 p.m. and then after tendering the evidence that they had, so they told the court, okay, no need. I think with all of these things that we have, we would not want to waste the time of the court. This is what we have. You cannot give what you don't have. You understand? So they had to end it that way for today. So tomorrow we'll be going again. That's why if you hear them say EC8A series, these are for the polling units, and then the EC8B, I think they are referring to the wards. That's the collation of the results for the wards. So guys, as in, it's really going to be interesting. So I think they still tendered evidence for other states. But my issue too is, when PDP, when they were, tendering their evidence, they claim to have had the evidence or the documents of these votes, the collation of results for all of these local governments in the 36 states. So is there not a problem there? Why is it easy for PDP and it doesn't seem to be easy for LP? Does that not tell you something? After all, PDP came second, Abi. So why is it easy for them? So the truth is, all eyes are on the judiciary. I tell you this and I reaffirm this again. So for those who have given up, the fact that Tinubu is now the president of Nigeria does not mean that if justice is due to be served, he would not leave. If that mandate was indeed stolen, he would leave, love. He cannot remain there because you cannot rule the people on a stolen mandate. We do not want an armed robber on that seat. You understand? So even though it's pretty much looking difficult, whether whether INEC likes it or not, they will have to present this evidence before the courts. They will have to present it. And then they kept objecting to every document that was submitted. This is a document that was certified by you. It was stamped by you. It was signed by you. It was handed by hand by you. And then at the end of the day, you're claiming I'm objecting to it. Like, is it not funny? I just feel like they are just trying to put up every defense mechanism, but you need to be reasonable when you're doing that. And they claimed, oh, we'll not see anything. We are objecting, no, but we're not going to see anything until during our final address, which is going to be coming up sometime in August. And I'm wondering in my heart, I'm like, I don't understand. You gave a particular judgment, you gave a particular document out, and then at the end of the day, you're objecting to the documents you gave out, which is showing your stamp and everything. Or are you going to turn around to say, I did not give? Because I feel like when it gets to their time, they too would present evidence, bulky evidence, documentary evidence, just like this. Don't mix it up. There's a difference between how you admit documentary evidence and how you admit electronic evidence. It's going to be a very smooth trial. It's going to be a long trial, but guys, don't give up. A lot of persons are like, oh, they've sworn Tinubu in. The eyes are now on the judiciary. The judiciary should be the last resolute of the common one. You understand? After all other options have been exhausted. And I know that LP lawyers are walking on eggshells. They are very careful not to step on the toes of the law, because any little thing, that case might be thrown out because the ruling party is in court. So I will just stop here for today. I don't want to bore us, but don't forget to follow me on my social media handles, as displayed on the screen earlier. And trust me, it's going to be a smooth ride. And God will give us victory and justice will be duly served. So don't give up. Keep praying for Nigeria. Have a wonderful evening.